All right, welcome back for another CBSI Hot 10 show. Make sure you go and check out the article over on comicbookinvest.com and make sure you like, subscribe, hit the alert button, and keep telling your friends so we can keep growing this channel. And check out all the other shows we have here on the channel. But if you want to see our list, all you got to do is hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and we will be right back.
Notable sales.
Our first book, some classic goodness.
Little Terrors of the Jungle 17, my favorite artist, L.B. Cole. Nice little heritage sale. This book went for a little over $4,000. Last time a 6.0 sold around 2022, and it was for a hair under $2,000. So it's a nice little double. It's nice to see that the golden age in 6.0 and above is still holding strong and moving up. So golden age lovers, rejoice. That's
a great cover. It really is.
One day, maybe I'll dip my toe in that pool, but I don't know. By the time I get there, it'll be probably way out of my price range.
I have some LB Cole. I wish it was higher graded, but I have some. It's good stuff.
Speaking of out of my price range, my favorite, Silver Surfer #1. 9.8 sold this week, Heritage auction. Yes, there was a lot of books that sold at Heritage this week, and a lot of them were very, very pricey. This one, by comparison, seemed to be one of the more affordable buys that somebody could get at $132,000, which is an all-time high for this book. It was $27K back in 2017. Yeah, there is no way I'm going to get a 9.8 of this book ever. I will have to live with my, loose detached pages in the middle copy that I have for my Silver Surfer. That's good.
I can fix that for you.
That equates to a lot of Nth Man copies.
$132,000.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's a nice chunk of change. That's a great classic cover, though.
It is. It is. But those were
if you love that cover, pick up that Fantasy Masterpiece.
Oh, that's true.
I have that.
Get it on the cheap.
All right, but let's see what we got in our main list.
Number 10.
At number 10.
Oh, we got Iron Fist 14. First appearance of Sabretooth is back on the list because of Sabretooth War. If you're not reading Wolverine, it's a pretty good read. And also movie, he's going to appear in the Deadpool movie, I guess.
At least his head is.
His head for sure is. He might be coming out of a cornfield. We don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, CGC graded books are up, coming back up. A 9.0 sold for $650. It was $500 back in December. Still a great cover. Sabretooth was one of my favorite characters, and I will get one of these days, even though no one cares about the X-Men.
I'm in the same boat as you.
He is? Sabretooth's one of your favorite characters.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yes, he is.
There's good classic battles.
Okay, well, hey, the one thing that's always interesting about this book is it's the most roller coaster you'll ever have. It always goes up, then always comes down, then goes back up, and then comes down. It doesn't matter. It's the definition of a roller coaster book.
Don't forget that 35
because it's in an Iron Fist title.
Yeah, agreed.
Sabretooth was badass in Mutant Massacre. Come on.
Yeah, he's got a silly looking costume at this point, but
not as silly as Iron Fist.
That is also true.
I think we got to readjust and maybe pull out a dictionary and look at the word "favorite of all time" is, because not saying he's not a good character, a good
Marco,
bad guy.
I think you took your style from Iron Fist. Now that I'm looking at it, he's got that thing rocking all
He
the way
does, yeah. Hey, I did.
Super deep V.
This is one of my favorite books of all time because of the cover, if you know what I mean. Both of them are rocking deep Vs. Sabretooth does too, believe it or not. If you were a fan, if he was one of your favorites,
That's
know
true.
that he also has the big chest opening. So
Yeah, well, he likes to show it off. All right, let's see what we got next.
Number 9.
Number 9. It's back.
The show's carrying it. Daredevil 9. It is. This whole series has beautiful matte covers, but with Echo being dropped and still being talked about. Picked up 50+ sales. 9/8 are hitting $250 again. Speaking of roller coasters, this is another one.
Yeah. Do you think
it's
because though the Mac covers, Joe? Do you think that's what it is? I mean, like, because I know like the show, some people believe it did deliver what we were promised, like the John Wick action portion of it. Other people enjoy slow-paced novelette type TV shows, apparently. But like, is that usually once you see a book like this come out, and after everybody watched the show or movie, it kind of dips down? But this is weird that's going back up, which is kind of interesting. Do you think it's because of Mac?
I mean, I don't know, maybe people see a future in the character popping up here and there, having a little more exposure, and maybe it goes up, and when it goes down this time, it sets a little bit of a higher floor.
Is it that, or is it because of the spotlight thing too? Like, because this is the first time they kind of did the spotlight thing. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see these spotlight books and how they do, like these characters that show up in the spotlight series. I think it's going to be really interesting just to kind of see like what is the like traditional, because like the movie, the traditional format for spiking for comic books with movies and everything else, and the cycle that they go through.
Exactly. This isn't following that normal trend.
And plus, I mean, we're getting Daredevil, so if we're gonna get some Daredevil, then you'll probably see Echo again as well. So
well, I guess I'm in the minority that really enjoyed the show. I really enjoyed the lore of the First Nation. They did and covered in the show. So
I did not enjoy it.
No, it was boring.
I thought it wasn't what was promised based on the trailers.
I'm not sure that's the minority either. I think there's a large. I mean, I think it's that. I think it's people are split. Either it wasn't what they thought they were going to get out of the trailer, or, I mean, like I said, they just like. I mean, people like.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I just that wasn't what I expected based on the trailer, but.
But either way, it still got you guys talking about it.
Yeah.
That talk is delivering.
And apparently, it's still pushing books.
Yeah, I mean, this was selling last week. It didn't make the list because the prices were down, but now volumes are up a little bit, and the prices are up again. So, it's not something we normally see.
Interesting poll. Yep.
But we'll see what this new market delivers us with this new methodology with the plus shows. I don't know.
Brave new world.
Yep.
All right, let's see what we got next.
Number 8.
Shiny foil, John Boy goodness.
Hey, listen, a long time ago, we were talking about when we heard this coming out that we wanted, what's it called, Joe? Spot foil?
Spot foil.
Yeah.
But they gave us a full foil. Still looks cool as shit, dude. I mean, anytime you get Cobra Commander, you have to do foil on his mask, right? If you're going to use this form of Cobra Commander, you just have to do it. The 1 in 100 incentive, there's over a dozen sales for 125, especially considering how many are out there. It's a pretty good deal. We're going to cover it on tack because we didn't want to ruin it because the insides are just as good as the outsides. It's a rarity, but it's the truth. Yep. So that's it. I mean, it was a good book. It's also really good to see this is still holding weight, right? Like we had the whole thing with Void Rivals, and then you're like, okay, cool. Is that just like the hype machine, right?
Yeah.
And then we got like, okay, we got a little bit more with the Transformer books coming out that were dope as hell, and you're like, okay, cool. Then they landed Duke, which was kind of interesting because how do you land Duke? But they did. Yeah. And now you see this going to Cobra Commander, and you're thinking like, are people going to get burnt out of this soon? Because they are pushing out a lot of product, and it doesn't seem like people are slowing down with it at all, which is very nice. I mean, it's great. It's great for these two properties to kind of have, for people that don't know, it's a crossover property because they're still doing the thing with Transformers. Well, obviously the cover kind of gives away Transformers and G.I. Joe hurts. But I mean, it's great. This was it wasn't what I expected them to do with the character, but it was definitely
interesting.
Yeah.
And readable. Very readable.
Yeah.
Again, we'll cover it on Wednesday when you want to get to the actual review.
It's not your childhood Cobra Commander.
Well, it's a cool cover nonetheless.
A real cool cover, yeah.
But with that said, let's see what we got next on our list at number 7.
Number 7.
Ooh. And number 10, the 1 in 25 Lyrics Lee cover. Love this cover. Marilyn Moonlight throwing all those cakes for the boys. Reach a high of $40. Hopefully this keeps going up like the other DC 1 in 25s have been doing in the past couple of weeks.
If you put a female on a DC cover, a 1 in 25, and her booty or boobies are showing, you're going to be doing all right? Is that the theme?
I got a short box of them.
Who's Mindy Moonlight's?
Marilyn Moonlight.
Who is this?
She's a character they introduced.
Like issue 2.
2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's in the beginning.
I was surprised they brought her back this soon.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it's a ghost horse.
Yeah, it's got to be the ghost horse.
Horse on the cover. That's the new thing.
Long hair. It's got to be the. What's the wrestler that's got the very long whip ponytail?
Oh, you got the Bianca Belair braid.
Bianca Belair.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. There you go. That's what it must be.
Coming out, twirling it.
There's plenty of Yara Floor covers with horses too.
Yeah, this is great. It's good to see that DC's 125s are still almost doing a double ratio now if you pick the right one. And it's not hard, apparently, to pick the right one. I think it's pretty easy to pick the right one, if you know what I mean.
Not to nitpick, but look again at how long that horse is.
It's Ghost Horse.
Yeah, but
and it's in the
middle of it.
It's in the back.
It's a limousine.
Oh, jeez.
I'm just looking at it. Like the tail end's here, the head's there, but the middle is way too long. Anyway, I just said nitpick, but it is. Look at it.
But it's like leaping.
It's jumping.
I know, but look how short the legs are in comparison.
I think you need to watch some dressage, Pete. To
if you see this thing walking, it'll look like a horse.
Are you talking about short legs? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, the short guy's talking about short legs.
Okay. No, it sits in the right place. It's just full extension.
It's just
it's flying in the air. How many horses do you ever see fly in the air, Pete?
You had to center that peach in between the legs, so you had to stretch it out a little bit.
I remember, Dog Food and Caddyshack 2 had a pretty decent jump. I remember that. Anyway, let's get on the list to our next book.
Number 6.
Number 6, we got Wonder Woman. So number 19 is apparently the book that people now want for Circe. Copper Age or whatever first appearance. You're not going to get her OG appearance because way back. But she does appear in cameo. I think it's like a hand in 17, and then I think she appears in like a panel or two in 18. But here she is on the cover. So now people want this book for the first appearance of Circe because James Gunn told us who's going to voice Circe is Anya. I don't know how to say her last name from The Witcher.
Yeah.
And we know the people voicing the animated stuff could also play them in live action. So I think that's the hope for many that we will see more of this character going forward. Last week was a $5 book. Now it's hit $20 again. Like there was a time when Circe was a book that people wanted. So they're just, back at it again.
Outside of that, it's a Perez cover, which is wonderful. Yeah. It's a Wonder Woman bondage cover, which has its collectors.
It does
as well. So that's a nice cover.
Yeah, the Perez run's a good run. That's all.
Yeah, there's a lot of them though. Just to be fair.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of them.
Yes,
you can find them out there.
Yeah, you won't have trouble finding this book.
Yeah.
But let's see what we've got next at number 5.
Number 5.
Oh shit.
Well, Channing Tatum has magically changed his favorite comic character to the Max. Apparently has a long-standing passion for the Max and is getting this project moving on a Max. I don't know whether I haven't been able to tell whether it's live action or animated. It seems to be live action. Based on the director, who was a documentary director, Crystal Moselle, who directed Wolfpack. So Paramount's moving forward, apparently, with this project. So it's moving this book, which has been in dollar bins since the dawn of the 90s.
Decades.
But the 9/8s are getting up to $100. So you're getting a little pop on some Sam Keith goodness.
Hey, this is great news, guys. This is real good news.
You think so?
Yeah, because if he does this, then that means we actually get somebody who will play a decent Gambit to play Gambit for the X-Men. So if you're an X-Men fan, this is great news. Real great news. Really loving this news.
I agree with you.
I really wanted to hear his Cajun accent.
No, absolutely did not.
No.
That is not something I wanted to hear at all. So very glad that this news has come out. I'm very excited about it. And yeah, I mean, he definitely can play this character.
He
I
can.
mean, the
You know
animated
why?
series. The animated
We've seen
series
him
was
do
fun.
this pose before. You guys see, what is it, The End of the World?
Oh yeah,
You know the scene I'm talking about when he comes out of the.
yeah.
He was in this kind of crouched position
Well,
with Danny McBride.
keep him away. Keep him away from. Just keep him away from X-Men. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Well, I just love. I mean, I like seeing Sam Keith get a little love.
That's true. That is true. But I just never
Cool.
connected with this character. Well, we've talked about this thing on
Yeah, I
Tact.
didn't really either.
It's never connected.
Yeah.
Wasn't for me.
On the cartoon either.
Yeah, between the Max and the Pit, I always mixed them up.
Huh.
I like Pitt because he was just like a Hulk knockoff. Oh, that was
Yeah.
more like a biker Hulk.
Bootleg. Lobo
That
Hulk
said, let's get to our
crossover.
next book.
Number 4.
Another property I never really connected with.
Well, ElfQuest #1, Fantasy Quarterly. By the way, the first Fantasy Quarterly was printed. Do you know where that was? Like the little story that this ever came in? Lansing, great state of Michigan. There you go. Go green, go white. So here we go. It's apparently an Amazon show says that they're going to have this as a animated show. So people are starting to pick up this book. Not that people didn't pick up this book anyways. This has got, I wouldn't even call it a niche following. This has a substantial following.
It's like a cult following.
It's a cooler version of the Littles.
I would say cult, but it's not really cult. Like, it's really just like, it's got a following. Like, people like this. I don't know why, but people like it.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of other stuff. There's great history in this. Everything from the publishing companies that come out to it to it's been around for bloody ever. All-time high for a 9.8 now is $2,400. Raws are hitting 350.
It always
Yeah,
seems like every 3 or 4 years somebody starts talking about this book again, and then we
By
forget
the
about it for 3 or 4 years.
By the way, also, I think if I am correct in this one, and I think it is, this Fantasy Quarterly has got a story by Casey in it, and that's the dude that like got them to ban grits in comic books. Is that right? Somebody's fact check that. I think you could.
It looks like it down at the bottom. A T. Casey Brennan.
Yeah, isn't that the dude? Yeah. Isn't Casey the dude? Isn't Casey Brennan the dude that got like cigarettes banned in comic books? Which it wasn't this week in Constantine, but yeah, I think so. Yeah,
He was driving that train high on cocaine.
because if I correctly, I think he's from Michigan too. Huh. There you go.
Guess
What
we
do you
get
know?
both good and bad out of your state then, huh?
Mostly bad.
I mean, Constantine still smokes grits, so who cares?
Yeah, but Wolverine.
Yeah, it's
Had to
stuck in
give
his
him a
growth,
card.
Pete. Is that what happened to you too?
Yep. Had to give him up.
Well, anyways, there you go. Sweet. It's a book. It's a book.
It's a book.
It is a book.
Number 3.
Well, here's another book for you. On the outside looking in last week, because we got the news right before the list came out. The Hood, #1, because the Hood is going to be our new Spirit of Vengeance. Yes, he will also eventually possibly be the big bad in the Ironheart series. I say possibly because maybe we won't even get that show ever. Who knows at this point?
Maybe it'll be a spotlight.
Maybe it'll be a spotlight. I don't know. But the Hood, again, it's been a book that's been around for a while. It's had its highs and lows. Another one of those roller coaster type books where it was like $20 last week, and now we're hitting 40 and 50 on these raws. 9/8s were like 100, 110. Now they're up to 220. So
Yeah.
take that ride. This has a nice glossy cover, so
People
hopefully
like Vaughn as well.
your copy's nice.
I know we've kind of talked about it before, but like this introduction of old characters into new mantles
Mm-hmm.
for those people that I don't know why I even just said it like that, but like, all right, take it characters that were in the past and they made them into characters that already exist, but give them
swap 'em out.
the powers. Yeah, we've seen this have a spike before. We were really watching this book last week, thinking that was when it was, but it gives us a week later after the news that we start to see a little bit of a bump there, which is kind of interesting. Once again, talking like we did with Joe. Joe was talking earlier about the news cycles with those like spotlights. This is another cycle that seems to continue, especially in the Marvel space.
Yep.
So if you hear the news, I would go buy it before people try to hawk them to you. You know what I mean?
Or if you have them and you hear the news, it might not be a bad
Listen
time
quick.
to
Yeah,
release them.
Release it to the wild.
Release the Kraken.
All right. Well, there's our hood. Let's get into our top 2.
Number 2.
Ooh, we have Ultimate Spider-Man #1, the black suit variant. Out of all the 30 plus covers for this book,
There's only 30
Only
plus. I thought it was 300 plus, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
wait, that's going to be how many are at the con coming up at MegaCon.
Jesus.
This is a great cover. This is one of the better covers. This one, the family one, is 65 plus sales. It's average high of 50. There was a outlay of $75 this week. So if you see, I didn't see too many of these for sale, but if you want in the wild, so it was less common than the A and B covers.
Well, retailers had to decide, and they had, again, 9 million different options.
9 million options.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like 4 of these are like the same exact cover, just with a different.
Yeah.
Luckily, some of the groups sold so early, but luckily and unluckily, if you're looking for the whole group, I think you're going to start having. It's going to be a little bit.
It'd be a tough set put together, I think.
But there was some sets selling early on, which good for the people that bought it early on. I don't know why you'd buy it early on, but like I'm not the hugest Spider-Man fan, so
And
I would have just
they already announced the second printing as well.
Yeah, the Riley and the 2099. That's it. That's all I want.
Yeah.
The rest of them. 65. Wow. All right.
Yeah, that's for that one, but that's not our number 1 book. Close, but we still got our top book.
And our number 1.
Wait a second. Deja vu.
In the words of Foreigner, fill my eyes with that double vision.
Right. Ultimate Spider-Man #1. This is the A cover, though, outdoing all the other covers on pure volume alone. Over 220 sales. Actually, for an A cover, too, selling for $30 to $40. Highs getting up to 60. As we just saw that last book that Bruce was talking about, they had a high of 75. For an A cover to touch something that, you know, some of the variants would have one-off sales on is kind of interesting.
Not even that. The variants are selling under ratio.
Yeah.
1 in 10s are like $8. The 1 in 25.
I saw like the black
$20.
cover spider. Yeah. I was just talking about the black.
I know, but that's what's weird about this book and why even though this started selling last week, I was a little wary in trying to put it on the list last week.
Yeah,
because
sure.
of that discrepancy. It just seemed weird. But the market has spoken, and they are fine throwing tons of money at the cover A and some of the variants.
Which, do you think it's a reading thing? At first, they're just like cool, and then they see or do you think? I mean,
people are loving this story. I've heard nothing but good things about this story.
I mean, I read it. It was good. I'm not going to gush about it, but it was good. It was for Marvel. It was good.
Yeah, I mean,
and people are actually going back and looking for this Ultimate Peter and Mary Jane's first appearance in Ultimate Invasion #1, and picking up the second print because that's actually his first cover appearance on the second printing.
Okay. Is that why is that what they're trying to say? This is like his first cover appearance of him on it. And I mean, it just doesn't make sense because if you're going to read the book, which I hear a lot of people are, and good for them. Like I'm glad. I've never been. I mean, I like Riley and I like O'Hare, but I've never been a huge Peter Parker fan. So, but like the shops, people in the shops are talking about how they enjoyed this storyline. Like they really are digging and living it. So I wonder if people
can tell after one book, you know.
Yeah, I just wonder if people are. I wonder if people are picking up to read it and they're just picking the A cover and the A cover just keeps going up because there's so many of them are selling, or if it's like, you know, that's like Pete said, it's an awkward thing to have the A cover.
Was they found that magic key.
What's that?
Think about it. People got all upset when they tried to make regular Peter Parker, original Peter Parker, older. They aged him up. They didn't want him to be married. No. That's not our Peter Parker. That's not our Peter Parker. He's a kid, gets his powers. That's Peter Parker we know and love. Yeah. This is a Peter Parker who becomes Spider-Man as an adult, like many of us older collectors now are, that now they can see a different version of Peter Parker that they can accept becoming Spider-Man at a later age who already has kids and can identify with him.
as somebody who doesn't care so much about Peter Parker, but loves to sell books that I don't care about, that's not where the question is. The question I have is, why is the A cover almost outperforming the rest of the entire rest of the lot?
I mean, I don't know how LCS has bought this and stuff like that. Do you think that they, went heavier on the other copies and went lighter on the A?
Maybe, but
they said Campbell cover. Let's order a bunch of the Campbell cover.
Maybe, but with that being said, there's over 220 sales too. Like, that's a lot. And that
it's a Spider-Man. We understand. DC, Batman moves. Marvel, Spider-Man moves.
But averaging volume. Right, I get it. But what I'm saying is, like, at one point, you're not going to pay $30 for this. You're going to go back and pay for the B cover. You're going to pay $8, right? Like, at one point, right? Aren't you going to do that? But that's not what we're seeing here.
Yeah, if I didn't buy it off the newsstand, I'm not paying.
I saw a 1/100 sell for like $65, which is close to the high for the cover A for a 1/100.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's where I'm saying, like, it doesn't add, like, for some, it is what it is. Can't argue with the numbers, but
doing weird things.
I know, but I'm trying to figure it out, because if you can figure out weirdos that buy Spider-Man, like, I mean, it's easy to sell them the keys, right? Like, that's the easy part, but this is weird. Like, you got to admit, selling these books, like, on average for 30 to 40, when you have, if it's just about the storyline or the character, you have multiple books. It's not the character's first appearance on the cover. It's the storyline is through all of them. You can get multiple versions of this. Arguably, maybe
also better. When stuff comes out with heat, sometimes people just rush to the most recognizable thing. And
maybe
it's the A cover. Sometimes
FOMO gets a hold of some people, and sometimes we're just seeing investors just trade books amongst themselves.
And it says it nice and big on the book, Ultimate Spider-Man, so you know what it is. And
they all play hot potato, like, all right, it's $30 this week, it's gonna be $50 next week, and oh no.
By the way, before we get all the hate mail, I'm not saying I hate Peter Parker. I'm not saying if you buy this book it's bad. You can like what you like. Okay, no problem with it at all. I'm just trying to understand.
It has some weird dynamics.
It is weird.
Two things that are equal, one's outselling it, even though it has less rarity. That's all I'm asking. So
it's a unique subject to study.
It very much is. All right. Well, cool. Maybe I'll pick
that's our list for this week.
All right.
Make sure you guys hang out and stick around for the qualified starting right up after this.
No.
And maybe you'll hear about some of the other books that we kind of mentioned on this list that didn't quite make it on the outside looking in, because we do got a couple more Ultimate Spider-Man #1s to give you guys.
When was the last time you had a now and later?
Last week.
Yeah, I have it all the time.
No, it's about the candy.
You guys have now and laters all the time?
The candy.
I'm worried I'm just worried they'll break my teeth.
Have you ever been to a Five Below? You get them all the time.
What?
Oh, yeah, they will get your teeth.
Yeah, bro.
You want a filling taken out? Get it now and later.
Yeah,
it's like eating a Chico stick.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that is.
On that note,
what?
I don't even know what that is. Okay.
New York Day.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, watch qualified for a nice X23 spotlight tonight.
Yeah, you guys go back and drink your pop, and we'll drink our soda.
Yeah.
Hey, pop's fine, buddy.
Anyway, we'll see you guys next week. All right. Later.